Hi, I'm Amy Romeo and welcome to my Seaside Vibes crafting event where I'm sharing a brand new faux leather summer craft for your Cricut every day for 10 days. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to use faux leather to create some very simple charm pendants that we can attach to a chain necklace or a bracelet along with some other charms to create a really trendy and fun summer accessory. I have the SVG file for this project in my shop if you'd like to craft along with me. Before we get started, let's talk about the tools and materials we'll be using. So I'll be using my Cricut Maker today, but you can use any of the current Cricut machines because they all cut faux leather with the standard fine point blade. The faux leather that I'm using are really pretty sheets. You can use a sort of solid or you could use a small scale pattern for this. I'll be cutting the faux leather using my purple strong grip mat. And then I'm going to show you a trick where we apply some heat transfer vinyl to the back of the faux leather before we cut out the pendant. And that's going to create a nice professional finish looking on the back of your faux leather and also add a little structure to the pendant. So to press, which is an optional step, I'll be using my Cricut Easy Press Mini with a cover sheet and also my heat pressing pad. We'll need a weeding tool of some kind. It's always good to have some small curved scissors on hand. And then the chain that I'm using for the necklace, these are actually pre-made necklace chains, and this is that very popular paper clip style. What's great about this is it has very large links that we can attach charms to using jump rings. It's also adjustable in the back, so it has the lobster claw clasp, and you can make this longer or shorter by connecting it anywhere on the little chain here. I have an assortment of charms from Amazon that I'll be showing you. I have some jump rings. I have some different sizes. I have some 10mm jump rings for one style of necklace. And then I have some smaller 6mm jump rings for the other style. And then I have some jewelry making pliers to be able to attach all these charms and put the necklace together. So let's go ahead and hop into Cricut Design Space and get started. Starting with a blank canvas in Cricut Design Space, you'll click on Upload and then Upload Image. And you'll browse to where the unzipped SVG file for this project is saved on your device. Click on it to select it and then click Open. You'll see a preview of the pendant shapes. Click Continue and then Upload. So these are small. They have a little pre-cut hole that you can use to attach your jump ring. And what I'm going to do is ungroup them and just select two of them to make in this demonstration today. So I think I'm going to make the little dolphin and I'm going to make the little turtle. So I'll delete the other ones. And all we need to do is click the Make It button. We're cutting our faux leather on a mat. And faux leather always cuts in reverse, so we'll just toggle that mirror button on. And I'm going to cut these from two different colors of faux leather, so I'm actually going to move them to different spots in my mat just to keep them straight in my mind. And I'm going to make a note of what size little scrap of faux leather I can use. So it looks like for the turtle, I'll need a piece about 2.5 inches square, and the same thing for the little dolphin. So I'll click Continue. The cut setting I'll use is called Faux Leather Paper Thin. If you don't have this one bookmarked as a favorite like I do, you can click on Browse All Materials and search for it. If you're using the Explorer Air 2, you'll need to turn your dial to Custom before you'll find this setting when you search. So Faux Leather Paper Thin and more pressure. That's another setting that helps us get a good cut with our Cricut. Here's the reminder that we're just using the regular fine point blade that comes with all of the Cricut machines. So we're all set. Let's hop back over to my overhead camera and we will cut out our faux leather mat. So I've gone ahead and trimmed my little pieces of faux leather down to that size I saw in the mat preview screen where my little shape will cut out completely. And this is good to do because the smaller your piece of faux leather is, when you put it on your mat and then we tape it with blue painter's tape all around, it's less likely to shift when cutting, and that helps you get a good cut. So I've got my two little pieces of faux leather, and this is optional, but as I mentioned, I want to show you how to put some heat transfer vinyl on the back, and that way when we cut their shape, it will cut through both layers at one time, and the front and the back will have a perfect cut. So if you're not interested in putting heat transfer vinyl on the back, you can just skip ahead to the next step, but I do want to show you how this works. So I've got a piece of foil iron-on heat transfer vinyl, and I've cut it to a size just slightly smaller than my piece of faux leather. That's because we're going to be pressing this down, and if you have overlap, then you might press your heat transfer vinyl onto your pad. which we don't want. So I've got my two backs here facing each other, and what I'm going to do is cover this with a little cover sheet. Now this is a Teflon sheet that I've trimmed down to size, but you could use butcher paper or parchment paper. And then I have my Easy Press Mini set on the low setting. You could also use a regular Easy Press set to 265 degrees. So all I'm going to do is cover here and press. I want to press all over, use firm pressure. You want to press all over for at least 10 seconds. It's really important that we get that foil iron-on really well adhered to the back of the faux leather. So this is warm, so be careful. I'm going to try to keep my faux leather flat and find the little corner of that clear carrier sheet that I can lift up, and I'm going to very slowly peel. And as you're doing this, if your heat transfer vinyl lifts up or bubbles, then just put this right back down and press some more. This one looks good. And keeping the faux leather flat helps us keep wrinkles out of the material. So I'm going to put that one to the side for just a second and repeat with our other little faux leather sandwich here. So this one's very warm. I'm going to let that cool for just a moment. I'm going to come back now and press this one again. And you can see some of the texture of the faux leather coming through the iron-on, which is really good. Now we've removed the clear carrier sheet, so I'm going to cover and press just one more time without that thick barrier. We really want the faux leather and the heat transfer vinyl well adhered, so when the blade runs through this, it doesn't tear your iron-on. And here you can see even more of that texture coming through, so that looks good. I'm going to put this underneath my heat pressing pad and let it cool nice and flat for a moment. This one now I can handle it, it's not so hot. I'm going to try and find that clear carrier sheet. There we go. Just peel back. Again, we'll cover and press some more. So I'm ready with my purple strong grit mat, and what I want to do is just put these pretty side down on my purple strong grit mat, right in those corners where I dragged my shapes that are going to cut. If you have a print like this where it's like a mermaid scale, you'll want to decide if you want it to go up or down. So I think that's kind of pretty. Then we're going to press this down with our fingers and add some blue painter's tape on all sides. Again, this helps keep the material from shifting while it's cutting. These little pieces of blue painter's tape can be peeled up and reused several times for other faux leather projects. So we already have our faux leather paper thin cut setting ready to go. So I'm just going to load my mat into the machine and begin the cut. So the cut has run one time, and I always recommend using a sharp weeding tool just to lift up the edge of the cut to see if it looks like it went all the way through. Now these smaller shapes with the heat transfer vinyl on the back, they will need a repeat cut. So I'm going to go ahead and just rerun my cut. You can do that as many times as you need to, as long as you haven't unloaded your mat, just by pressing the cut button again. So I recommend checking, but I know in this case I will need to rerun the cut. So my cut has run twice, and again I'm just going to check, and that looks better with the second cut. I can lift up the little turtle leg there. I'm going to check over here. Again, if you need to, just press that cut button and it will just keep repeating the cut as long as you need to. But these look pretty good, so I'm going to unload my mat and remove my shapes. Again, be careful with these, they're small. There's our little turtle. Now here's our little dolphin, and it's stuck just a little bit. Can you see that? So I'm going to use my little curved scissors to help me trim this part off. There we go. Now we have the little holes that the Cricut made in the faux leather, and usually it cuts it pretty well, but sometimes when you have the heat transfer vinyl on the back, that little hole gets sort of covered over. So I'm going to use a 1/16 inch hole punch just to punch those holes. This is on Amazon and it's less than $10. I'll leave a link to it for you. It makes the little perfect size hole. You can also try just pushing it through with your sharp weeding tool. You can usually get it through enough and then maybe trim up the back with the curved scissors. Now another thing I noticed is we have a little bit of ridging around the cut, and that's from where the blade went through. So I have my Easy Press Mini still warm, so I'm just going to pop these down on my heat pressing pad again, just for about 5 seconds. Press very quickly just to get those little ridges out. There we go. So let me show you how I use my little 1/16 inch hole punch. This is great for making earrings too. It makes the perfect size earring hole in faux leather. So I'm just going to place it over here and then kind of line it up where that little post is going to punch. This is basically a paper punch, so it works the exact same way. Just line it up with where you saw the Cricut tried to make the hole in the faux leather and punch. So if it leaves a little bit of faux leather sticking out of the hole, you can just use your curved scissors. It's easier to see the hole on the back, so just flip this over. Now, if you're not putting the heat transfer vinyl on the back, you probably won't have this problem, and your little hole will cut all the way through. So there we go. We have our little dolphin and our little turtle. Now, of course, if you wanted to add some heat transfer vinyl on top, maybe an initial, that would be really cute and make this a more personalized design. So now we have our little charms cut out. I'm going to take a moment and just pull together some charms, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can make this pendant necklace. One by having lots of charms, and then one by having sort of a little dangle of charms in the center. So we'll be right back, and I'll show you the last steps for completing this project. So now I'm going to show you how to turn both of these into 2 different looking charm necklaces. So I'm using some regular jump rings in either a gold or a silver finish, and I have several different sizes on hand. The 6mm is the smallest, and I'm going to use that for this necklace because I want the charms to stay in a certain position on the necklace links. And then if you want your charms to dangle and move, then you'll want a larger jump ring. So I have some 8mm here, and you might need to use 10mm depending on how thick your chain is. So I'm going to take my little jump ring here, use my 2 pair of pliers. My jump ring is already open, so I'm just going to hold it like that, put on my charm, and there you can see that pretty foil in the back, and the charm will be a little bit stiffer because it does have that on the back. Now I'm going to attach this to the chain, but really I'm just going to thread the chain onto the jump ring. I don't want to put it on one of the links because I want the chain to be able to move like that. You can attach it to a link if you'd like to though. I'm just going to close that up. And then we have the pretty dolphin on the chain. And then I want these 2 charms to kind of dangle around and have some movement. So I'm going to open these up and just attach them on either side. Now you can add as many or as little charms as you'd like. I'll just do 3 so you get the idea. So here's what this one looks like with the charms, and all these charms are going to move along with that little center pendant, and this is going to be really fun to wear. Now if you want your charms to be stationary where they don't move and they're sort of spaced out on the necklace, then we can achieve that using some smaller jump rings. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my center pendant, and this one I'm going to use a larger jump ring because I want it to move on the center of the necklace, and then we'll put everything else stationary. So again, just jump ring on the necklace. There's the little turtle. And then what I'm going to do is use these other smaller charms that I've picked out, and I'm going to connect them to a link instead of just putting them on the chain. So 6mm jump ring, just opening those up. I like to lay out my little charms here first so I know what I'm putting where. And let's see. Just going to pick up one of these links. Just connect the jump ring. I know that's a little hard to see, but I'm just connecting the jump ring to the actual chain. See how that's connected to a link? It's not going to move. And then we'll take our little necklace here. I'm going to put this down on my table. figure out where that is in relation to over on this side, and then I'm just going to put this one on the same link on the opposite side. So you can see how that anchors the smaller charms, and then we have our center pendant. I'm going to go ahead and just finish this up by adding the rest of the charms in even spacing up the chain. You can do as many as you'd like. You can go all the way up if you'd like. I'm just going to add 2 more. And then once you're finished with adding all of your charms, this is what the 2 different pendant necklaces look like. So you get 2 different looks, 2 different styles, and this is just such an easy and simple faux leather project. I really hope you like this one, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.